everyone, today in PSLE Science, I'll be going through the topic of the digestive system. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to teach you what is the digestive system first. So let's jump straight into it. So what is the digestive system? Okay, so we need to know what is the digestive system, right? And basically, the digestive system actually helps to break down the food that we eat into simpler substances. So these simpler substances is actually the digested food. Okay, so you got to know this. So let me just highlight all of this to indicate that it's the same. And let me just circle the digestive system, because this system actually breaks down the food. Okay, so and then it is absorbed into the bloodstream through the walls of the small intestine. Okay, so it will be absorbed into the bloodstream through the walls of the small intestine. So the small intestine basically absorbs the digested food into the bloodstream. Okay, after that it will be transported by the circulatory system. So another system has to work in this. So the circulatory system must transport the digested food to all parts of the body for respiration to release energy. So this respiration to release energy, I've actually covered it in the video of cells. Okay, so if you have not watched the video yet, you can check it out and you can understand what does respiration actually mean. So respiration to release energy. So basically, let me just quickly explain what is respiration. So respiration is when we have O2, which is oxygen, and we add digested food. So basically we breathe in oxygen, right? And our body already digested the food. So oxygen and the digested food, and the cells take in these things, okay? And then after that, you respire to release energy, okay, and CO2, which is carbon dioxide. Okay, so this is basically we breathing out. And so when we have food, right, we know it gives us energy. So this is what it means. So this is respiration. Okay, so I hope you understand that. So now it's overlapping, so let me just erase these things. Okay, so I hope you understand that. Okay, so now we know that in the digestive system there are many parts, right? So let me just show you the parts in the digestive system. Okay, so here's the digestive system, and let me label some of the parts. Okay, so this is the mouth, okay, and this long tube is made out of muscles. It's called the gullet. And in the mouth there's a teeth and the tongue as well. Okay, and after that, after the food passes through the long tube, it goes to the stomach. Okay, and these tubes over here is actually called the small intestine. Okay, and these large tube over here, like this whole thing over here, okay, is called the large intestine. Okay, and then lastly, this is the earnest, where all our waste material is passed through. And this is actually not in the syllabus. Okay, so just take note. You do not need to know this, but it's important that you know. Okay, so let me just erase the earnest for now. Okay, so first is the mouth. So let me show the way that the food actually goes down the body. Okay, so first from the mouth over here, it travels down the gullet, okay, into the stomach, okay, and from the stomach it travels down into the small intestine, okay, then it comes here after all of this thing over here, then it goes into the large intestine over here. It goes all the way down, and then it goes through the anus and comes out as poop. Okay, this is called poop. Okay, so it's basically our waste material. Okay, so I hope you understand the path of the digestive system. So here's the food or something. Okay, so this is the hamburger. Wait, let me just draw something. Let me draw like a carrot. Okay, so we eat the carrot. So this is a carrot. Okay, so this goes into our mouth. After that, it just travels down the digestive system. Okay, so I hope you understand this. So now let's move on to the next segment of this video. So now we are going to learn the parts and the functions. So what's the first part that we learn? The mouth, right? So we need to learn what is the mouth first. Okay, let's take a look. So the mouth. So here's the mouth, just like I've shown you in the before this. Okay, so here's the mouth, and the mouth, there's actually teeth and the tongue in the mouth, right? Like I said before, and digestion begins in the mouth. Okay, do you know that digestion, there's actually 3 parts? So let me just cover this briefly. So there's actually 3 parts, whereby there's digestive juices, which will allow our body parts, the digestive system parts, in order to digest the food. So basically, mouth, there's actually saliva. So in saliva, there's actually a digestive juice, and this actually digests the food a little bit. So it's the least digestion, okay, over here. So that is why the least digestive juices are released. Okay, and then the stomach has many digestive juices. It actually digests the food as well. So this is also digestion. So let me just write D for those parts that digest. And then the small intestine over here, the small intestine, it is also a D, because it also digests. There's the most amount of digestive juices released at the small intestine. Okay, so that's just a quick brief. Okay, so I hope you understand that. So let me read this again. So digestion begins at the mouth, and here's the least digestion. Okay, it is because least digestive juices are released over here. Okay, in the mouth there's teeth, right? What is the function of the teeth? You know that we chew food, right? We chew food, and this time is not simpler substances, it's actually smaller pieces. So choose food, which breaks down food into not simpler substances but smaller pieces, because simpler substances is really small. Smaller pieces means like you like take a paper, right? You want smaller pieces of paper, you just tear it, right? Or you use the scissors and cut it so that you can share with your friends. So basically that is smaller pieces, not simpler substances. Okay, so do remember this word is really important. Many people like lose marks because of this word. They put simpler substances even though they know that it's supposed to be smaller pieces. Okay, so what does the smaller pieces actually do, and why do we actually chew food? Okay, this is actually increasing the surface area of the food in contact with the digestive juices found in the saliva for faster digestion of food. Okay, so here's a mouth, right? And let me just show you something. Okay, so imagine like this is a chunk of food, okay, that you're gonna eat. Maybe it's a bread. Okay, if you just swallow the bread like this, right, the surface area is only gonna be this whole thing. Okay, and after you chew, right, maybe it's like it became like this or something, 4 pieces. Okay, so that's one tiny piece over here, one tiny piece over here, another tiny piece over here, and another tiny piece over here. So let me just highlight the outer area. Okay, so here's the highlighter, right? So this is the surface area of the food in contact. just for now. Okay, after that, when you eat it, right, there's actually the two sides are over here and the other two sides are over here, and then the sides are actually over here, the sides. Okay, see, when I highlight everything, the actual surface area is only these portions over here in the smaller pieces. But if I highlight everything, there's actually more of the surface area. Can you see it? So basically, when we chew food, right, there's actually more digestive juices in contact with the food that we eat. Okay, so this is because of the surface area concept. Okay, so we need to use this concept. So it increases the surface area in contact, okay, with the digestive juices found in saliva. So you need to know that digestive juices are found in saliva. Okay, this is really important, and this will increase the rate of digestion, so for faster digestion of food, basically. Okay, so I hope you understand this. And in our mouth, there's also a tongue, right? Many people do not know what does the tongue actually do. Okay, but you do not need to know some of the part in this. So the tongue actually helps to mix the food with the digestive juices found in the saliva. Okay, so the tongue, right, actually helps to mix the food. Okay, so if we don't have a tongue, right, we cannot mix the food with the digestive juices. Basically, like, you know, a mixie, right? We put the food inside and then it just blends everything, the blender. So the blender actually just blends everything. So it's just, the tongue is basically like a blender. Okay, you can take it in that sense. Okay, so it will mix the food with the digestive juices found in the saliva. Okay, and the tongue also rolls the food into a ball, which is actually called the bolus in the scientific term. Okay, so this allows the food to be swallowed easily. So when it's rolled into a ball, right, you can actually swallow it easier. And since the saliva is in contact, it actually helps us to swallow the food really easily. Okay, if we don't have saliva, there's no digestion taking place in the mouth, and it will be harder to swallow the food. Okay, so you can take the saliva like a lubricant as well. Okay, the next part is the gullet. Okay, so the gullet. So here's the digestive system, and this tube is the gullet. Okay, so the gullet, there's basically no digestion in the gullet. Okay, so you just need to know that there's no digestion. So what does the gullet do? So basically, the gullet is a muscular organ, so it actually contains muscles. It actually has muscles that help to push the food down. So the muscles relax, contract and relax to push the food down. So basically, it's a this motion. Okay, so it's relaxing and contracting. It's pushing the food down the gullet from the mouth. Okay, from the mouth over here to the stomach. So the gullet is basically like a tube from one place to another, basically like a travel area or something. Okay, so it's the road. So this is like island A and the stomach is like island B, and this is the road to get to the island. Okay, so basically the gullet performs that function. Okay, so it's to push the food down the gullet from the mouth to stomach. And why is there no digestion? It is because no digestive juices are released over here at the gullet, basically. So that is why no digestion takes place. Okay, so I hope you understand the gullet. Now let's move on. So remember I told about the bolus, or the ball of food in the mouth. The tongue rolls it, right? So basically this is how it looks like. Okay, so the ball of food. Okay, the bolus. Okay, so now I'm going to go through the next part, which is the stomach. Okay, so this is the stomach, and here's the stomach. Okay, like I labeled last time as well. So the stomach, there is some digestion. It is definitely more. So let me just write more than mouth. Okay, so this some digestion and the mouth is actually least. Okay, so it's the least digestion in the mouth. And the stomach actually does two things. It produces acids and it churns the food. Okay, so the stomach produces acid and it actually enables the digestive juices to work, and it will kill all the harmful bacteria in the food. Okay, so that it does not infect our body. Okay, so this is basically the function of the acid. Okay, so it actually enables the digestive juices to work. Okay, so it actually allows us to digest our food in the stomach. Okay, and it also kills harmful bacteria. Next, churning of the food. The stomach is made up of muscles. Okay, and they squeeze the food through the muscular contractions in order to mix and churn the partially digested food with the digestive juices. Okay, just like the gullet, the stomach is also a muscular organ. So it actually is made up of muscles. So the muscular contractions over here is basically the motion I showed you again. So it actually pushes in and pushes out like that. Okay, so it squeezes the food through the muscular contractions in order to mix and churn. So it's just like a blender. It mixes and it also churns the partially digested food. Why do we call it partially? Because of the mouth. The mouth actually digested some of the food. Okay, so the partially digested food with the digestive juices. Okay, then only it can digest properly. So it's just like the mouth, the tongue, right? It actually mixes the food with the saliva, which contains the digestive juices, just like that. But the stomach actually also churns the food. Okay, so this is the stomach. Okay, so next is the small intestine over here. So in the small intestine, let me go through it now. Okay, now we are at the small intestine. Okay, so this is the picture of the small intestine. Okay, so here's the small intestine like I labeled before. So in the small intestine, there's actually the most digestion taking place because of the most digestive juices released over here. Okay, and you need to remember that digestion actually ends at the small intestine and a new phase called absorption begins over here. And the small intestine only absorbs digested food. Okay, so absorption is basically all the digested food is absorbed through the walls of the small intestine into the bloodstream. Okay, and in the small intestine there's actually numerous folds called villi. So there are numerous folds called villi found on the walls of the small intestine. Okay, and this actually increases the surface area of the walls of the small intestine in contact with the digested food. Okay, so another surface area concept is over here. Increases the surface area. Okay, which is in contact with digested food for faster absorption of the digested food into the bloodstream. Okay, so I hope you understand that. And then the blood supply. There's a large number of vessels actually surrounding the small intestine, and this is the allow the digested food to be absorbed into the bloodstream quickly and to be quickly transported to all parts of the body, because all parts of the body need the digested food in order to respire, right? So just like the first slide, I'll show you what is digestion. I think you remember, right? So it's important. Next, so this is the small intestine, and let me just draw a picture in order for you to understand the numerous folds and the blood supply properly. Okay, so basically let me just draw it now. Just give me some time. Okay, one moment please. So let me just draw it again. Okay, so I hope you can see something over here, this diagram. Okay, so basically let me label some things over here. So this highlighted portion over here is actually the blood vessels. Okay, let me just write it down. Blood vessels. Okay, so you need to know this, and let me highlight in green color. And this over here is actually the small intestine. Okay, so let me just label the circle as the nutrients. Okay, so I think you need to know this, it's really important. And let me show you the folds of the small intestine. Let me erase the highlighted portions. I think I understand already. So let me just show you the folds. Okay, and the pen color is actually blue color. Okay, so these folds, right, are called villi. Okay, and these folds actually increase the surface area each time. Okay, so it's actually really important. Okay, let me just erase it, and this over here, and let me redraw it. So these things are actually the folds in the small intestine. Okay, and the small intestine, if the small intestine were to be like this, that's actually lesser surface area. Let me highlight the surface area. Okay, and if the small intestine were to be like this, let me highlight the surface area. So basically there's one round over here, another round, another rounds. Okay, so there's actually more surface area compared to this and this. Okay, so I think you can see what I mean now. Okay, so now the blood supply. So basically there's a large number of blood vessels surrounding the small intestine to allow the digested food to be absorbed into the bloodstream quickly and to be transported to all parts of the body, right? So basically the nutrients that we need is in the small intestine already. So these nutrients will actually be transported into the blood vessels over here from the walls of the small intestine. Okay, so after that, like after so many things, right, there's actually a lot of these nutrients in the blood vessels, and these nutrients are actually transported. Okay, so I hope you understand that. So I hope you understand what I've drawn over here, and I hope you understand what does the villi and the blood supply do to change the small intestine. So let's move on to the next part, which is the large intestine. So the large intestine. So let me go through this now. So this is the large intestine. Okay, so I've labeled it over here already, the large intestine. So now let me go through the function of the large intestine. So the large intestine is actually absorbing water and mineral salts. No more of the digested food is absorbing water and mineral salts. So basically that's not just absorb water and mineral salts, it absorbs excess water and mineral salts. Okay, and it is absorbed from the undigested food through the walls of the large intestine into the bloodstream. Okay, so in the small intestine, digestion ends, right? So all the digested food is gone, and then left over is undigested food, and in this undigested food there's still excess water and mineral salts that our body needs. Okay, so it will actually absorb it and it will send it into the bloodstream just like the small intestine. Okay, so this is the function of the large intestine. So here are some pictures of the large intestine. Okay, so I hope you understand the large intestine. Now let's move on to the anus. So the anus, this part is actually not in syllabus. Okay, you do not need to know the actual thing, but it's okay. You just can learn some new things, okay? So the anus is not in syllabus, and so here's the anus, which I've had the label over here. So the anus is basically digestion and absorption already ends at the anus, and it allows waste material from the to be passed out from our body. Okay, so the waste material is basically like poop. Okay, our poop. So we call it feces. Okay, in layman terms it's called poop. Okay, so it will be passing out from there. Okay, so I hope you understand what it means now. So this is the end of the video, and I hope you understand what does the digestive system do, and I hope you understand the whole topic on the digestive system. And thank you, and bye bye. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.